Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org for more info, or you can always email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Samuel Lora. We're going to be discussing his fantastic book, It Takes Courage, available for purchase through Amazon as well as barnesandnoble.com. And guys, just so you're aware, Sam was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by some of the best movers in the business. Author Reputation Press Publishing. So if you have a book that you'd like moved, do yourself a favor and contact our great friends over there at ARP. You can find out more information on them at authorreputationpress.com. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Sam, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you so much for being a guest. How are you?
All right. How you doing? My name is Samuel Lora, and nice meeting you, and it's a pleasure being here with you today.
Likewise. Listen, the pleasure is all ours, Sam. Okay, we're truly looking forward to this. I know, a book of this magnitude is valuable at any moment in life. But especially after the past year and a half to 2 years that we've had with this pandemic, there's a lot of turbulence, right? There's a lot of uneasiness and a lot of people experiencing adversity. So your words of wisdom and things that we're going to be able to experience through your upbringing and your background, we're truly going to have so much value in what we can implement it into today. So without further ado, Sam, let's jump right in. It Takes Courage. Tell us a little bit more about your book.
It's about my life stories. It's about my life, since I was born, and up to now, to where I'm at now, and consider myself as successful man, and to tell my story about what anything that could be in front of you, and you gotta go through barriers. Could be you could feel. You don't got no way out. You can feel, but if you believe in yourself and you decide, no, I'm going to continue, I'm going to make it in life, no matter what anybody tell you, they could bully you. They could tell you whatever. They could tell you that you're not going to be no one. You're not going to be nobody. You don't listen to that. You just put your mind to what you want, and it's anything is possible. It's the sky's the limit. I say it for experience because I didn't have no education. I didn't went to school. I don't know what school was, and I think I came a long way without, not even going to school and everything I have accomplished in my life. It's like, when I was a kid, 8 years old, 6 years old, my father, he had me like a slave. I had me cleaning farm field, and when you was a kid, you don't know nothing, you don't got no shoe, you come from a poor island and you're suffering, you're hungry, and you think the world falling on you, and you get desperate, you know what you're doing. I used to go to the war and, cry on myself, ask God help me, scratch my ear, bleed and stuff like that. But, I kept going, and, I had a dream. I asked God when I was 8 years old, I want to travel. I want to get to know different places. God had gave me everything I asked him. I didn't give it to me when I wanted it to, but the time came when he gave it to me, and it's like I'm blessed now.
Talking about titles, Sam, that's the next area that I wanted to go to, right? Your title of your book, I can assume, after hearing your description, I can assume the connection that title has to the narrative. But you know what happens when you assume, Sam, so I'm not going to do that to you. I have you here on the line. I can come right out and ask. Talk to our listening audience. Why did you choose that title to be the representation for your book?
Because it takes courage. It takes courage for you to grow up, to grow up and become who you really are in life, or who you want to be in life. You got to be honest to yourself. You got to be honest, and and you got to be an honest person, and you got to you got to believe, and in the universe is somebody bigger than us, somebody more powerful than us. If we believe with a heart, with a pure heart, we could see any barrier, and we could, become who we really want to be in life.
Sam, talk to our listening audience about inspiration. Now, first and foremost, what inspired you to embark upon this journey and write this narrative?
It was my journey. My life journey is just like, I don't wish no human being to go through my life journey, but I just want to talk to you about it a little bit. It's like, my father used to abuse me when I was a kid. He used to do all kinds of stuff to me,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
His father died, my grandpa, and he wanted to take me with him to the tomb, because he used to come from the cemetery, pick me up out of the bed, take me to the cemetery in the middle of the night, at midnight, and he used to bring me back. And thing that I remember when I was 1 year old, and it's just I don't wish no human being or anybody to go through what I went, but I'm a survivor. And I could tell people, if you do believe yourself and you wanted to become someone, you could do. Life is the sky the limit, and you create your own world. Yeah, you create what you want to be in life. But yeah, part of that, it was like, my father used to pull me like from let's say Delaware to New York in a donkey, 5 o'clock in the morning, to go get like rice or oil, because we used to live, in a poor side of the country. And I used to travel there with a donkey, and I'd be back like 9 o'clock at night. And if I didn't do that, I get beat up, blood taken out of my body. That none of that, stopped me from dreaming, wanted to travel. I didn't have no idea what's going to come to this country. I didn't have no idea that, I just asked God for it, crying myself on the word, and came here, learned everything. I've been through everything else. When I came here, I had I used to pick up coffee bean when I was a kid, so I was saving money. So I was able to come here and help my family to come here, and they brought me here. And, when I came to the Bronx, I was on the street and, living sometime on the step and stuff like that, because they never wanted me. They was like bullying me. They were telling me, that I was no good. I was this and that. And sometimes, I was just a kid. I didn't know what was good, what was not good. They didn't tell me what was good. They didn't tell me what I needed to do to survive. Everything I had learned in my life, I learned it on the street with other people asking questions, and other people I didn't know what was a childhood. I don't know what was a birthday. I don't know what was a toy. I was barefoot, and part of my story.
Here on the line with Samuel Lora, we're discussing his fantastic book, It Takes Courage, available for purchase through Amazon as well as barnesandnoble.com. Sam, thank you very much for all of the information that you've relayed thus far. And it's clear to see why this book is so valuable and why it's so important. I mean, your story is truly inspirational, and that's why it needed to be told. And we're so glad that you did. Now, since we have you here on the line, Sam, the next question that I'd love to go into, any words of advice, any tips that you can offer? As I said when I started this interview, this past 1.5 to 2 years, given this pandemic and the variations of lockdown that we've all experienced, has created a lot of adversity and a lot of turbulence.
Yes.
Now, any tips that you can offer any of our listening audience that's out there listening in right now that finds themselves going through a tough time and can't see the light at the end of the tunnel? What words of wisdom would you be able to relay?
I would love to relate to them that, you just got to have your heart clear, your conscience clear, and just believe in the universe. It doesn't matter what religion you come from. Just believe and be honest to yourself and be who you are, and anything is possible. It's not you could survive anything that's ever in front of you. You could succeed if you put your mind to it. And it's like every head is a different world, because you create your own world. If you want good, you want to you can't give up. You can't give up. Life is too precious and too beautiful, and you can't give up. You gotta keep fighting, and one day you will come out of that.
What would you say was a highlight for you in writing the book? Or if not a highlight, maybe something that surprised you that you weren't expecting before you started this?
My highlight was, having a child because, when I was 8 years old, I asked God, don't let me have a kid or have a kid one day to, suffer to what I went through. To I was ready. So when, I met this lady, I was girlfriend, boyfriend for like 8 months, baby came in life and, supported my kid and everything. But I seen, that like my kid is suffering, the lady's not taking care of the kid. So I decided I own my own business. I lost everything because I decided to fight for my kid. Take full custody of my kid because I wanted the best for my kid. I wanted my kid not to go through the thing I went through. So I didn't have nothing when I was a kid. So I wanted her to have everything that she wanted it, and plus what I didn't have. So I doing everything for my daughter, and I'm very proud of her because she's doing great in school. She's 10 years old, and I got custody of the baby. She was 7 months old. No experience raising my kid, and that's like I just said, if you believe in someone, if you believe in the universe, you believe in God, you could survive. You could do. It's amazing. I learned how to change the diaper. I learned how to birth my kid, take gases out of her stomach. I learned everything. And my daughter's real big now, and I'm proud of that. So that's why my inspiration for writing this book.
There you have it. And what an honor. You know what I love so much about what you did, Sam? And guys, this is a lesson that we could all learn, not only from his inspirational story and what we can learn from that and how we can implement that into our own lives. But guys, we know that not everybody gets to be written about in the history books, right? Not everybody's story is told. But just because your story isn't told doesn't mean it's not worth telling. And I absolutely love that, Sam, you had the wherewithal and the acknowledgement of knowing that what you have achieved in your life is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, this is something that is so impressive in terms of the obstacles that you had in front of you that you've been able to overcome. And because of that, you comprised this book and put it out for the public, and there is so much value to be gained. I absolutely love it. Sam, as we start to close out of this fantastic interview, listen, we've discussed so much so far today. Is there anything else that we haven't discussed or haven't touched up on that you really want to make sure our listening audience is aware of?
It's like what we were saying about the epidemic. You see, like when I had my kid, I had two businesses. I had a trucking business, I had a tire business. I lost everything fighting for my kid because that was my life. I didn't want nothing to go, my kid to go near what I went through. So, after 4 years ago, I went bankrupt. I didn't even have nothing to pay my rent. 8 months. Well, my landlord knew what kind of person I was, so he worked with me. 8 months later, I was able to pay my bills and my rent. 4 years later, I'm back. I have my both business. I have more what I had before I had my kid because I've been blessed with what I've done for my kid, and I feel blessed. I got to explore my country. I've been all 50 states, and it's a blessing in the sky, like I say, because I got like the person I am. I feel like this, and when I was real poor, and I was saying to myself, never envy nobody. I want nobody what anybody have. I'm gonna have what God have for me, and whatever's for me, nobody gonna take that from me. And if you believe in yourself, and you believe, and you prove you believe in what you could do, you could accomplish anything in this world.
There's no better way to end an interview. I mean, my goodness, I'm inspired. I am absolutely inspired. I know you are as well. Guys, you know what's even better about all of this is we are now at the end of the interview. We've discussed so much information, but yet we've barely scratched the surface. There is so much left to be discovered and so much about Sam's story that we haven't even touched up on. And that's why Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com are the places you have to go. It Takes Courage is the title you have to pick up, and Samuel Lora is the author you have to thank for bringing it to your table. Sam, this has been truly an honor and a wonderful pleasure. Thank you once again for being a guest with us today on People of Distinction.
Thank you so much.